talking about solving basic geometric problems using vector algebra. Since geometry problems, most people are afraid of them, most people who participate in programming contests, the reason is there are a lot of special cases to handle, even when you are solving a very basic problem like intersection of two line segments or lines. So a lot of people don't want to solve these type of problems, they hate them and they simply avoid them. But when you are participating in a contest, these are the problems which, if you don't hate them or you can tackle them easily, you can score a lot of points in this particular area. So I am going to teach you the approach in which you don't have to take lot of cases. Tackling of geometric problems is very easy when you use vector algebra. So I am going to start with very basic introduction of what vectors are and what vector algebra basically is, and then I'll try to explain some geometry problems both in two-dimensional geometry and three-dimensional geometry and how to solve them using vector algebra. So a vector essentially has two components, a magnitude and a direction. So in a 2D plane, a vector would guys at the back, if you cannot see, you can come to the front. I will not have anything for which you need to use the computer. So if you cannot see the board, you can come to the front. So a vector in 2D plane essentially has two components to it. So let's say this is a vector. So the x component of vector is taken by drawing a projection from this to the x-axis, and y component of a vector can be found out by drawing a projection of the vector on y-axis. So each vector you can represent in 2D using two numbers. First one is the x component and the other one is the y component. Now the magnitude of this vector would be the length of this, that is square root of x square plus y square, using the Pythagoras theorem. This is clear, right? And the direction would be the direction that it puts on the x-axis. That is what we take in standard definition as the direction. So this is tan inverse of y by x. Now one thing which I want to stress on is, when you are trying to code vector algebra, you can have vectors for which the x component is 0. So when you try to use formulas like y by x, they will throw numerical exception on the computer. So you should never try to divide. The other way is to use, like in C++ there is a function a tan 2. So you supply it with y and x and it will give you the angle which it puts on with the x-axis, and the range of angle is from minus pi to pi. Is this clear? So you can use these functions. In all geometry problems, avoid division as much as possible. Whenever you can do without division, you should do that. Now there are some very basic operations which we can do with vectors. First one of them is vector addition. Now this is very simple. If you have a vector defined by x1, y1, that is x component and y component of the vector are x1 and y1 respectively, and you have another vector for which the components are x2 and y2. The addition is very simple. It is defined by x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2. Is this clear? If you want to take vectors in 3 dimensions, they essentially are represented by 3 numbers instead of 2. So you will also have a z component. So you can say z1 here and z2 here. And the addition would be x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2 and z1 plus z2. So you can add each component individually and you get the resultant vector from vector addition. The next thing is dot product of two vectors. So dot product of two vectors is a scalar quantity, that is, it doesn't have a direction associated with it, it's just a number. So dot product of two vectors is just a number which is magnitude of vector A into magnitude of vector B into cosine of theta, that is the angle between these two vectors. So suppose you have a vector A that goes like this, vector B that goes like this. Magnitude of A is this, length of A, magnitude of B, that is length of B, and the angle between these vectors is this angle. So we take cos of this angle and multiply this, and that's how we get the cross dot product of two vectors. Now if we have vectors in terms of components, that is we have a vector called x1 comma y1, we have another vector that is x2 comma y2. The dot product we can simply obtain as x1 x2 plus y1 y2. Is this clear? So if we have magnitudes of the vector and the angle between them, we can use this formula. If we have the components of the vectors, we can use this formula. So if we have the components, the formula is x1 x2 plus y1 y2. If we have another z, you can add another z1 z2 on it. Now the next thing is cross product of two vectors. The magnitude of cross product is given by magnitude of A multiplied by magnitude of B multiplied by sin theta. Here theta is the angle between these two vectors. So you should see that cross product becomes 0 when the vectors are parallel, concurrent that is, and dot product is what is maximized in that case, and dot product becomes 0 when the vectors are perpendicular, and cross product is what is maximized in that case. Is that clear? Now all of you might remember from high school geometry that theta has a direction associated with it, as in sine of minus theta is minus sine theta, right? So if we take the angle from A to B or we take the angle from B to A, this number changes, right? So what I am trying to say here is A cross B is not same as B cross A. So when we take A cross B, we are trying to find the angle from A to B. When we take B cross A, we are trying to find the angle from B to A. Since they are reverse of each other, we can say A cross B is equal to minus B cross A. Is this clear? Now the next thing is direction of the cross product. The direction of the cross product is given by the rule that essentially if you have two vectors, let's say in a 2D plane, then the direction of the cross product will be from vector A to B. If you put your hand like this, so this is the forward is the direction of the cross product. Similarly, if you do B cross A, this is the direction of the cross product. So essentially they are reverse of each other, right? And it is perpendicular to both vectors A and B. So essentially in this case this is perpendicular to both A and B. Now if you are looking at 2D vectors A and B, their cross product would be something in the Z plane. And since Z plane is not existent in 2D geometry, so we essentially take cross product also as a number. But when it's 3D geometry, the cross product is a vector. Is that clear? Now if we instead had the components of each vector, that is x1 y1 x2 y2, so if we have x1 y1 and x2 y2 as the components of vector A and B, then the magnitude of cross product is x1 y2 minus x2 y1. Is this clear? When we have three components, the cross product would be a vector, as I told. So then the cross product will also have three components. You can find the cross product in that case using the simple determinant rule, which you might have read in high school. That is, you write I, J, K here. You write x1, x2, y1, y2, z1, z2, right? So when you are trying to find the x component of the resultant vector, you multiplied y1 z2 minus y2 z1, right? Is that clear? For this one, you multiply this x1 z2 minus x2 z1, but you also put a minus 1 onto it because the parity of this changes. And similarly for k. So you can find out the cross product and dot product and addition subtraction of vectors both using components and using the absolute magnitudes and angle, right? Now we will try to apply these things to coordinate geometry and see how we can solve many problems very easily using this. When dealing with geometry problems, you need to choose a representation of every geometric object in your problem. So you can have different representations. Each representation would be useful for a particular type of problem, will be very lengthy to solve in some other type of representation. So the most common representation that I am going to teach, and that is what is present in most of the programming problems, is a line will be given to you as a pair of points. The line will not be given usually in the form of ax plus by equal to c. In 2D geometry, at least in programming context problems, a line will be given as a pair of points. Now if you specifically want to convert it to ax plus by plus c, you can have a formula you can try to derive from the coordinate of the points, but that is all lengthy. So we try to keep in this representation and solve all the problems. Is that clear? Now similarly, if you have a ray instead of a line, a ray essentially starts from one point and goes forward in one direction up to infinity. It's not infinity both ways. So you can represent a ray as a point and a vector. So point is the origin and vector is the direction which this ray follows. So the first thing which we will try to solve is line point distance. So if you are given a line in form of 2 points, you are given another point, you want to find out the distance of this point from the line, which is represented by these 2 points. So let's say the point which represent the line are x1 y1 and x2 y2, and the point for which we are trying to calculate the distance is x comma y. So the first method is to get the equation of line in form of ax plus by plus c and put this xy in that equation. That gives you the distance. The other method is, if you have this vector, let's say this is point A, this is point B, this is a vector from A to B, and let's say your point P, that is somewhere here. So you draw another vector from A to P. The value of this vector will be given as b minus a. Is that clear? A value of this vector will be given as b minus a. So we have two vectors. v1 is b minus a, v2 is p minus a. Is that clear? You can take a to be any one of these points, it won't matter. Now what we are trying to find out is distance of this point from this line, that is this perpendicular distance. We already know the magnitude of this vector. What we want to find out is this angle. If we knew the angle, we'll get this distance. Now if we took cross product of v1 and v2, that would give me mod of v1 into mod of v2 into sin theta, right? If I remove this v1, that is if I get the cross product and divide by magnitude of v1, I'll get v2 sin theta, that is this distance. So we take cross product of these vectors, divide by magnitude of first vector, and that is what is the distance. Now the thing here is, if the magnitude of this first vector is 0, then we'll run into problems, but as you can see that will not happen, because these 2 points have to be distinct, otherwise the line itself is not defined. If these 2 points are distinct, magnitude of V1 will never be 0.